Before we address the installation, let me briefly highlight a few things for you. I'm working with a 231-678. This is a 10-inch fan. We measure across here. We also carry a 12-inch version and a 14-inch version. The larger units cool more, but they are larger. Before you decide you might want a larger fan, be sure to check our webpage or talk to your sales representative for the fan dimensions to make sure you have the needed room. Also, I'm using this kit as it comes from Moss. We add the thermostatic switch. We add the relay, the wires, the fuse, everything that you need to make it work. In other words, this kit comes to you complete. It comes out of the box, ready to be installed and operate automatically. If your car has no current provision for an electric fan, the kit has everything you need. If your car is one of those few classic British cars that had an electric fan, you won't be forced to reuse the old relay, the old thermostat, or the old wires. Those are all going to be behind us. And lastly, this technician recommends that you remove your mechanical fan as part of the electric fan's installation. Now, there are people who recommend leaving the mechanical fan in place for additional cooling. In this technician's opinion, if your car needs a mechanical fan and an electric fan to get control of your cooling, something is wrong with your cooling system. You need to fix that. Now, let's do the installation. First thing we need to do is we need to make a decision. Okay? Are we going to mount your fan on the front of the radiator to serve as a pusher where it will push the air through the radiator and in the direction of the motor? Or are we going to mount the fan on the back of the radiator where it will serve as a puller and pull the air through the radiator in the direction of the motor? Now, a person might say, well, which is better? Well, the reality is that this fan works well either way. The efficiency is excellent either way. So the criteria we need to evaluate is not cooling efficiency, but geography. Simply put, where will it best fit in your car? Now, a critic watching this video might say, wait a minute, something's wrong here. And if we say, what is it? He says, well, if you take and put this on the front of your radiator, it's going to push the air through the radiator. I understand that. But if I take and I put it on the back of the radiator, it's going to push this way. If I'm driving along at 5 or 10 miles an hour and I've got a breeze coming in this way and the fan blowing that way, they're going to cancel each other out. It's not going to work. Well, it's a valid point. It's a good comment. But this is a DC motor. DC motors are going to have two wires. If I just take these two wires and turn them over, it blows the other way. So if I turn this around the other way, all I have to do is just swap the wires and it blows the other way. And the critic might say, okay, I understand that, and I can see something here. I can see, even in this video, that these are specially engineered fan blades for high efficiency. And I'll say that's true. And he'll say, I know that if you develop a blade to be highly efficient in one direction, it's going to be inefficient in the other direction. So if you take and you put this around the other way and you make it blow backwards, the efficiency is going to fall like a stone. Well, that's a valuable point as well. But I'd like to show you something. Right here we have a small nut in the middle. You undo this nut, lift it off, the fan lifts off the shaft, you flip it over and put it right back on again, and now it's going the other way. And to help you to remember which way it's supposed to spin, right here we have an arrow, and there's one on the other side. So as long as she spins in the direction of the arrow, these blades are operating in the efficient manner that they were designed to operate in. Now, the installation of this fan is easy and involves just 3 steps. It's the mounting of the fan, the installing of the temperature sensor, and supplying power for the system. The fan mounting is very, very easy because it's designed to cling to your radiator the way that a spider clings to a wall. Okay? There are no struts to install, no brackets to install. Your radiator is made of tubes, and between the tubes there are little fins of corrugated metal to dissipate the heat. All we're going to do is there are 4 points in the corners, and there are thin plastic strips that go through here, out the other side, right through the radiator without going into anything, and then there's a lock on the back, and there's springs to absorb any vibration. Okay, so that's it. In, done, in, done, in, done. And they're done. Okay, there's nothing else to do. If at some point down the road you have to service your radiator or remove or change your radiator, you simply cut the plastic strips, do the work that you have to do, and then the strips are available for Moss. You put new strips in, and you're right back in business again. It's just that easy. The thermostatic switch operates on something very similar. Remember how the strips here would go through the fins of the radiator? This is going to go right through the radiator the same way. We're going to put it in. There's a little cover that goes on and a little lock, and it's done. It's called a snap switch because these extra pieces, if they get in your way, can be snapped off. And the actual thermostat is right here. Now, there are times when an individual will say, well, I don't like that. I want a switch in my car or some sort of a dial so I can change the temperature at which my fan comes off and on. Well, if a person says that, ask him about his own car. He probably has a modern car. If he has a modern car, it probably has an electric fan in it. Ask him, does he have an adjustment in his modern car for adjusting the fan speed or the fan time when she comes off and on? No. The engineers who design the system find the very best and the most efficient temperature at which to make everything work, and they set it for that. This is the same way. You don't have to play around with adjusting it for the right temperature. Just simply put the fan in, put the thermostatic switch in, and it's all taken care of. It's pre-programmed. Also, which is really nice about these, in the old days, we used to have to go and find a radiator hose and make a cut in it, and then we have a sending unit. We put this goop all over it, push it in the hole, and then we put tape all around it. Well, those things leaked more often than they didn't. This can't leak. There's nothing piercing the system anywhere. It makes no contact with the coolant. This senses the temperature inside the radiator from outside. That's pretty cool. And lastly is the wiring. Wiring means we're going to put a switch in. We're going to have a source of power that comes on with a key. So 12 volts will go here to one side. It makes no difference which. When this decides that it's time to turn the fan on, she's going to send power about 0.2 of 1 amp. It's teeny. And that's going to go to the relay. The relay is going to come to life using her own source of safely fused power and deliver power to the fan. The relay does the heavy lifting. Okay, so that part's taken care of. There's nothing in here that's going to create a problem or a load on any of your system. And what she's going to do is she's going to send approximately 5.4 amps to this fan. That's a little more than one headlight draws. Now, when this fan is turned on and she has her power that she needs, she's going to move about 650 cubic feet per minute. Her big brother, the 12-inch fan, moves 850 cubic feet per minute, and Daddy, the 14-inch fan, moves 1,050 cubic feet per minute. There's all kinds of cooling here. So stop wasting fuel and energy. To cut down on noise and get maximum cooling at low speeds, an electric fan is the answer that the automobile industry has gone to. You can too. This 231678 will be just the trick for a 4-cylinder engine. If you need more cooling, a 12-inch and a 14-inch are available. Installation is neither hard nor complicated, so it's easy to bring this part of your cooling system up and into the 21st century.